Hello everyone, how's it going? Today we're taking a look at hidden bonus rooms in Donkey Kong Country. From busting through your very first wall with Rambi the Rhino, hearing that iconic bonus theme, to the second that's located right underneath where you return to the level, Donkey Kong Country sends the message that it's loaded with secrets, and if you want to find them, you're gonna have to look everywhere. As you look for them all, you find out this game is literally secrets on top of secrets on top of secrets. There's a lot of examples with great design and/or quality hints that get you at least maybe 80% of the hidden bonus rooms, but getting your file to the coveted 101% completion is an entirely other story. There's a shocking amount of blind secret rooms that a player would either have to make a mistake and get incredibly lucky, or actually stumble upon it through almost unimaginable trial and error, touching every single wall with a barrel, or jumping off every single ledge, risking your death for countless attempts. You could even go as far as saying the design behind many of these rooms are downright rude. There's more than a handful of secrets that a player has to find with zero indication, so if you didn't have a guide or friend to fill you in, then finding them all can seem pretty hopeless, unless you committed to jumping off every single ledge and touching every single wall in the game to even give yourself a chance. And believe it or not, in some cases, that still wouldn't be enough. I put a lot of time and effort into the list, completing 3 files as my reference. I hope you enjoy. What were your favorite bonus rooms or secrets? Without further delay, here are the top 10 shocking secret bonus rooms in Donkey Kong Country. Number 10. Stop and Go Station. In the mines of the second world, you're urged to hurry up with the stop and go barrels. The red light prevents these freaky zombified crocs from running right through your character. They move so fast and even their sound effects are creepy. Just listen to those footsteps. Their design is so memorable, it's honestly pretty amazing that these guys are exclusive to just one level. There are 2 bonus rooms on this stage. One is pretty standard, just having to run along with a barrel to use on a wall. But the other one is incredibly easy to miss, and that's because it requires a bit of backtracking. In a stage that seems to push the player forward, it makes sense why overlooking this bonus room comes as natural. You come across the tire that you're supposed to push forward to hit the barrel up high for a stop as you run for your life through this part. But in this haste to survive, the bonus room will be missed. You have to jump to the right of this tire, push it back to the left, and use it to jump upward off screen for access to the secret bonus room. This bonus room has a few trails of bananas with 3 prizes above to choose from, if you can hit them. This layout is used in a handful of others as well. As far as hinting at its location, one thing it has going for it is there's a trail of bananas here, at least at first. They just come across as bananas to jump and grab as you're moving to the right. But if you can pick up on this incredibly subtle hint, then you'll find that these point to an out-of-sight bonus room. With it being so easy to run right past and going against the natural flow of the level, it's earned its place of number 10 on the list. Number 9. Forest Frenzy. There are many bees and vultures. In this part, they're all flying across the screen, giving you plenty to deal with. And they've got the nerve to try to sneak one by you as you're just moving around trying to survive. Believe it or not, we actually just passed it. That's how easy it is to miss. It feels nearly invisible all the way at the bottom of the screen, with all these vultures flying right in your face. This type of bonus game is pretty iconic. There's a good handful of bonus rooms that use it. This is a pretty serious eye test right here. If you want your eyes checked for free, look no further than this minigame. It's also tricky because it's right before this barrel for the next bonus room, so it's really easy to miss. Having to bring a barrel past 4 jumping crocs to hit the last wall has its own challenge, but at least some trial and error would help you find that. Finding this barrel feels like it goes beyond having your eyes peeled. It's more like you just have to be lucky enough to be in the right place to notice. Having a banana or a Kong letter or enemy to bounce off of, anything to direct the player to this barrel would have been very nice. It comes across as somewhat cruel how only a sliver of this thing is on screen with all this mess going on. While your eyes are preoccupied looking ahead, it's totally understandable to not see this coming. It's also hard to feel that you've missed something during this part, making it a painful and sneaky number 9 on the list. Number 8. Platform Perils is the last actual level of the adventure, deep into Chimp Caverns before 2 consecutive boss fights to finish the game. There's the biggest tease of a barrel over here, and naturally you'd wonder, how could you safely reach it? Who's to say at this point in the game, with everything crazy we've seen, why wouldn't we just try to jump our furthest toward it, even though it's way too far away? But no, that doesn't work. So this wouldn't occur to me, but I guess the next thing you could do would be get the first platform out of the way, then jump off the ledge. It's hard to even believe that that's all you have to do. Just get your safe platform out of the way and then jump to your doom, except it'll lead you to this next bonus room. Receiving this movement on some out-of-screen object is totally unique. There's not another situation like this one at all, and it's just absolutely shocking to reach the barrel way over at the beginning with it. I assume we're standing on another arrow platform. It's just crazy how surprising and sneaky they are with their design. In this bonus game, we just need to time our jumps into the barrels to spell Kong for a 1-up. It's just a weird one to figure out without any hints. It's a solid head scratcher for sure, making it number 8 on the list. Number 7. Barrel Cannon Canyon. Toward the end of the first world, we have our first major barrel shooting challenge. The level is loaded with secrets and shortcuts along the way. Once you're in the heart of it, the entire challenge comes down to timing, shooting from barrel to barrel. Hitting your target is the entire point. The last thing you're trying to do is aim anywhere but another barrel or to safe ground, which is why this one is just so odd and so easy to miss. There's nothing that would prompt you to shoot at this next secret. Obviously, you'd never think to just be so reckless to just blast at the bottom of a wall, right? You want to wait for the barrel. But shame on you for trying to make any logical decisions. Just in this one particular part, and nowhere else in the game, you barrel blast your way through a wall. Absolutely stunning. Another secret that would drive a player crazy trying to find it. You'd probably attempt jumping to your death everywhere on the stage before it ever occurred to you to try shooting at the wall. A banana or Kong letter would have been really appreciated right here, but since there's absolutely nothing, it's one of the hardest secret bonus rooms to find and worthy of number 7 on the list. Number 6. Elevator Antics. Here in the caves of the 5th world, Creme Croc Industries, there are 3 bonus rooms to be found in this level, and they're all pretty tricky. First one takes a big cartwheel or somersault to reach. The last one requires ignoring the exit sign and descending down below. But the middle one, I believe, is the most surprising, since you actually climb and jump out of screen to find it. There's not another location like this one. Attempting to climb and jump out of the screen was completely unnecessary up until now. Looking for cues is one thing, but just ignoring the top border of the screen, come on, that's pretty ridiculous. It's just very easy to move right on past, avoid the zingers, and never realize it was there. We've got some spinning barrels in this bonus game. Each barrel spins faster, so they're not the easiest bonus games to get through. There's a 2-up balloon at the end if you can manage to reach it. The bees make you want to move on from the ropes. It's just so tough being out of sight, no indicators at all, not to mention putting yourself in what seems like a terrible spot, making it number 6 on the list. Number 5. Ropey Rampage. In only the second level of the game, they've got 2 walk-offs in the same stage. I call them walk-offs because you walk off the edge. Honestly, from a design perspective, it makes complete sense that the first level in the game introduces 2 bonus rooms through the wall, and here they introduce 2 that are off the ledge. But in practice, they're nearly impossible to find. One is completely out of sight, not hinted at all. The second one isn't even visible as you run by. Naturally you would, going with the finishing arrow sign, but if you jumped off the ledge, or came back for whatever reason, you would actually see the top of this barrel. Frankly, they're both very hard to find, but as far as the first one goes, no indicators like a Kong letter or banana, nope, just walking right off the ledge at the exact right place. Honestly, things like this are just insulting. Walking off on just one particular treetop as opposed to the rest is just pretty shocking. To me, it seems pretty mindless. I guess if you were throwing away lives jumping down out of desperation during your search, everywhere you could, you'd at least see it. But no hints at all here. All you can do is shrug when you find secret bonus rooms like this. You'd probably just have to get lucky, fall to your doom, and see the trail of bananas, if not the barrel itself. But if you never fell down there, you'd never know. there just doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason for its location, making Ropey Rampage number 5 on the list. Number 4. Snow Barrel Blast. The first level of the 4th world, Gorilla Glacier, has a few secrets to find, while there's a strong argument that Snow Barrel Blast is probably the hardest level in the entire game, especially if we're ruling out shortcuts. It's got daunting stretches of barrel blasting with tight windows of timing as the snowstorm has picked up to its full force. If you do manage to get through this stage but don't see an exclamation point indicating that you have everything, it's not exactly a place you'd enjoy revisiting because nothing feels safe about it. There are a few bonus rooms here, but for this one you need to do the unthinkable and blast yourself straight downward to your doom, or so it would seem. When you're first playing you have no idea what's down there. Naturally you'd assume death, especially with a clear target to your right, so you'd probably never think of shooting downward. You can't even get lucky here because an accidental misfire down to the right wouldn't get you there thanks to this zinger. Aiming down is literally suicide, isn't it? In this particular case, you'll be on the ice. But if you're just playing to survive and hit the barrels in front of you, it totally makes sense to never find this bonus room. Something that's a bit less common here is how these barrels spin. There are plenty of these bonus rooms where they go up and down, making it easy to blast through them quickly if you keep pressing the button. The barrels get really fast. It's only suiting that Snow Barrel Blast has one of the hardest barrel blasting bonus rooms in the entire game. Shooting straight downward with no hints at all is absolutely ridiculous, making Snow Barrel Blast a cold-hearted number 4 on the list. Number 3. Tanked Up Trouble. In the final world of the game, Chimp Caverns, they've got a unique assortment of challenges. On this stage, you've got a motorized platform that needs fuel to keep going. The entire point of the stage is to keep grabbing fuel, and if you manage to do that, you'll successfully complete the stage, as well as successfully miss the only secret bonus room in the whole level. Running out of fuel would seem like a bad thing. Well, it is a bad thing everywhere, except for just the very first part of the track. If you avoid the very first fuel barrel, you'll run out of juice and fall right into the next bonus room. It also works to just jump off right here, but there's not a single hint or indicator, and we found the only bonus room of the stage. The only way you're finding this is by dumb luck, or during an unthinkable desperation phase of jumping off literally everywhere looking for bonus barrels. You'd simply have to know ahead of time of the location. It's pretty perplexing, honestly, and I've been thinking about this more and more, but maybe somebody could find this if they didn't read that this was fuel and just saw it as an obstacle. They would jump to avoid it, and they'd find the bonus room. But assuming you can read, that's so unlikely to happen. To need every single bonus room for a complete file, with zero hint insults like this, it's absolutely maddening. All of these leap of faith moments, they honestly just wanted you to buy a guide. This whole list is full of great examples of that. It's hard to imagine anything more obscure or bizarre, which just says that much more about the next two on the list. It's totally absurd placement and location, and it also has quite the notorious reputation, making it number 3 on the list. Number 2, Orangutan Gang. Now this stage is a true juggernaut with 5 bonus rooms and a fair amount to go over. You heard that right, 5 bonus rooms here, the most of any other level in the game, by 2 in fact. There are several levels with 3, none with 4, making it really hard to imagine how this place ended up with 5. 2 of these 5 I'd argue is pretty simple, although it may not be intuitive to try going down underneath right here. This barrel will at least get you down into this wall. There's actually a bonus room setup unique to this stage for 3 of the 5. They place the tire up on the left to bounce for prizes, and it's a pretty cool change up. And then it respawns to use over here if you try the other walls. This wall on the right holds another bonus room. And then there's a third to get with this barrel that's much harder to reach. You have to get it beyond enemies and obstacles to get one more right before the level is over. You actually have access to another espresso in here to flutter across the gap for some more bananas, and you get popped out right at the exit. The other 2 are much harder to find. Using Espresso the Ostrich, you'd have to somehow think to jump to the right down here near this end and make your way to the right without going too high, by the way, otherwise you'll clip above. Fluttering over here to this barrel gets you to the 4th dimension. This one has 3 prizes to bounce on with 2 bunches of bananas and a DK barrel. Which brings us next to the worst and most unintuitive of all. This seems more like a prank or a hack than a real secret. What you're about to see, it's straight up gross. You take espresso on a massive backtrack, nothing else even remotely like this in the entire game, getting by all these backward leaping Kremlings. It doesn't look anything like you're supposed to be going this way. You need to take a leap toward what you'd assume is certain death, but no, you flutter, moving all the way back to get underneath the very beginning of the level. It's straight up outrageous, like what in the world makes you want to backtrack this way with the ostrich when you don't even have a visual cue? There's nothing that makes you think you should go backward. It seems like a jump to certain death, instead it's by far the longest bonus room in the game. You hit the letters in order for all 4 animal pals. Winky, Ramby, Espresso, and Engard. This level is overall insane with its secrets. You reach multiple of them underneath the treetops, but I don't think any of them can quite compare with backtracking underneath the trees to the very beginning of the stage. It's hard to imagine why this wouldn't be number 1, but number 1 is just way too bizarre and unique to top, and I think a lot will agree. Before we get to number 1, I've got 3 quick honorable mentions of secret bonus rooms that are plenty tricky to come across. In World 3, in Temple Tempest, it's tricky because you have to think to carry a DK barrel past some enemies and try on a wall. Since the game always provides an ordinary or TNT barrel for walls, of course you'd want to throw your DK barrel right away and get your partner back, so it's overall pretty sneaky. On World 5 in Minecart Madness, it's completely blind, and you'd have to be jumping at just the right time to hit a barrel while off screen. Maybe a player would be pressing jump just for the heck of it, but if you rolled on through as it looks like you should, you'd always miss this secret bonus room. Lastly, in World 5 on Trick Track Trek, you come right up to the exit, and that's when you're supposed to think, let's get this enemy out of the way and walk right off the edge. It's pretty cruel to know that in order to find these organically, you'd have to think of places to be sacrificing yourself in a mad search for them all. Alright, here we are at the top of the list. What is the top secret bonus room in Donkey Kong Country? Number 1, Oil Drum Alley. Now there's some really bizarre and unique things going on with this bonus room. The first part of it is quite standard, nothing weird about it. You have a nearby barrel that you can try out on this wall. There's plenty of other bonus rooms like this. If that's all there was to it, it wouldn't be anywhere near this list. But that's only the beginning. Naturally, you try to line these barrels up to get one of the better prizes like a 1-up balloon or a frog statue, and think that's all there is to do here. But this is actually like the inception of bonus rooms, because we will find another bonus room within another bonus room. If you match the 3 barrels for a decent prize or failed, you'd never ever realize there's more to this. It's seriously so particular and odd. I'm not even sure what kind of psychopath would ever think to match 3 single bananas, but that's exactly what you have to do to start. Who would want that prize? It's not even remotely worth the time, but you need to match 3 single bananas in order to obtain this barrel. So of course you'd think, I need to walk to the right wall. And then you're kicked out. It doesn't seem to make any sense. I tried it a couple times and just thought it wasn't working. I would have never guessed that. You need to jump into the wall with the barrel so your feet land inside to avoid failing. Like, what in the world are these rules? It's so strange. Oddly enough, just due to how he holds the barrel, I'm not even sure that it's possible to access this room with Donkey Kong. If someone has before, feel free to let me know. Then you have to spell Donkey Kong Country, spelling donkey for a 1-up, Kong for a 2-up, and Country for a 3-up. This one has layers of cryptic mischief. I wouldn't say finding the first part is an issue at all, but having to match the 3 single bananas is so weird, and even just as weird or even more so, having to jump into the wall with the barrel. Both of these things are ridiculous to figure out. It's hard to put into words, making this Inception secret bonus room number 1 on the top 10 secret bonus rooms in Donkey Kong Country. Thank you guys so much for watching. Check out the other videos on the channel if you want to see more, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. I appreciate you watching. Have a great rest of your day.